So welcome to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. There are prayers on my screen. You can read with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshuranmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Padagadam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvaitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakham Vidhamsam हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगत्ते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानु देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुमेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So, welcome again. We were reading the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the three modes of material nature, and we had completed 14. Now we move to 15th verse. So, with what consciousness one dies, the next life is also decided by that consciousness. So, if one dies in the consciousness of goodness, then he takes birth in the parents of great sages. But when he dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth in those who are doing fruitive activities, and in ignorance, he takes birth in animal kingdom. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinas tamasi mudha yoneshu jayate. When one dies in mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, and when one dies in mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. This is incorrect. According to this verse, if one develops mode of ignorance, after his death, he is degraded to an animal form of life. Something that after human life there is eternal life in Swargaloka. It's not like that. It is how what consciousness one does, what activities one does depends. Uh, that decides the next life. Okay, in the mode of ignorance, it is tamas, with illusion, delusion, not knowing what is right, what is wrong, thinking that religion is religion, irreligion, and irreligion is religion. When such a person does all kinds of wrong activities, then definitely next life will be degraded only. Will be animal form of life. From there, one has to elevate himself by evolutionary process to come again to human form of life. So when one reaches the animal kingdom or aquatics and all, then after living through those lives, one uh, slowly moves from one species to another, to another, to another, ultimately come to human birth. So this happens by the three modes of material nature, the control of the material nature. They take care of this evolution. There is Darwin evolution, which says that the body itself changes. And here in Bhagavad Gita, the body doesn't change, but it is the soul which changes body, depending on what he has done and what consciousness he has developed. So evolution is there, but it is in terms of the soul, not of the body. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to mode of goodness and in good association transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human life will again attain to the human status. If you want that guarantee, then we have to be in mode of goodness. We have to be in Sattva Guna. Okay. Let's go ahead. Karmanah sukhatasya satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasustu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasah phalam. Now the next is the result of pious activity is pious action is pure. Pious action means action which are according to the Vedas and they are in mode of goodness. Okay, action done in mode of passion results in misery. Here also the actions are according to the Vedas, but they are done for fruitive activities. To go to heavenly planets, okay, like that. It has some trouble. One has to kill so many animals in yajnas. So that is the misery one gets. Action performed in mode of ignorance results in foolishness. The result of pious activity in the mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness, but activities in mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper, so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. To build huge buildings, one has to take such a big loan, risk, engineering effort, right? So those are mode of passion activities. The financer has to take trouble to earn the wealth. Those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The misery are there. But Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the material modes of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be so-called mental happiness. I have this house, but this is actually not actually happiness. Why? If someone owns a skyscraper, what is the problem? He won't own it throughout his life, right? At the time of that, he has to give it up. He'll be forced. Sometimes there'll be so much misery that he'll think, why I built this in the first place. This also happens. So, mode of passion, actions in mode of passion are always troublesome. Now, in the Vedic times, which was the tallest building in the village? Can you tell me? In a village, which was the tallest building in the Vedic times? Any guess?
Temple, Prabhuji. Temple.
Yeah, temple. See, even the king was used to. Even the king used to not build his uh, palace bigger, taller than the temple. You know that. So the temple would have used to have the biggest gopurams. This is Sri Rangam Gopuram of Sri Ranganath Swami. Very, very tall. So effort which is put in service of Krishna will give eternal benefit. Anyway, we have to put effort. So if we put effort in building Krishna's temple, there will be eternal benefit. So therefore, the king used to put all his money and all that in building temples. And building temples, what would effect they would bring? They would maintain the dharma. They would slowly, gradually advance people on the path of dharma and ultimately spiritual life, isn't it? Whereas, if you take any tall skyscraper, what are these buildings ultimately getting? What are they ultimately making people? More materialistic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
materialistic.
more
Yes, yes.
materialistic. They are only thinking about business, 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 business. That's it. Whereas if you think about Gopuram, these would make people devotees, make people more spiritual. So, happiness in mode of passion is temporary, and many a times it is like it brings misery only. Uh, you all know about lottery, right? You all know about lottery? Hmm?
Yeah, yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
yes.
Yes, sir.
See, what has happened is those who have won lottery, right? Um, most of them would lose money within 3 to 5 years. First of
Mm.
all, they don't know how to manage. Second, they'll just enjoy unlimitedly. Third, some friend, some relative, uh, some unknown person would cheat them. So there was this person named Shakespeare. He won a lottery in America. He won a lottery in America. $30 million lottery he won. He was a truck driver assistant. And then one lady, she got a friend with him, and one fine day she killed him and she buried him in the house that she was living. This is a true story. 2009. So the point is we have to be very careful with mode of passion because it has big possibility of bringing misery, right? You have to be very careful with it, how to deal with it. So can you tell ways of how to deal with mode of passion? Can you think of, because we have to earn in this world. It is not like we don't have to earn, we have to earn. And devotees will also become rich. Okay, but then how to then avoid the effect of mode of passion? Let's discuss about that. Any thoughts?
Donating dharma, donating and all.
Yes,
Mm,
donating for the right cause.
yes.
Yeah, that helps. Next, is to keep our mind and senses controlled and not to enjoy too much. Too much enjoyment will increase mode of passion. Now we are talking about skyscrapers. Let's talk about uh, the city of where where Ravana lived. What was it made of?
Gold, Prabhuji.
Yeah, skyscraper is made of what? Cement. But city of Sri Lanka was made of gold. Can you imagine what kind of wealth Ravana had? Generally, we use all cement material and all that is all, which is vastly been, we get it from ground and all that. Now, if somebody is building homes out of gold, you can imagine how much gold was just lying around that he started building homes with it, isn't it? So, he showed excessive enjoyment in mode of passion. So it all resulted in misery only. So you rightly said donation, controlling mind and senses, you know, uh, using properly utilizing the wealth, all these things, they will keep the bad effects of mode of passion away. Okay. As far as mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge and therefore all his activities result in present misery and afterwards he will go into towards animal life. Animal life is always miserable. Although under the spell of illusory energy, Maya, the animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to mode of ignorance. In ignorance, people kill animals to eat them, but they don't know that that karma will bring them back, and they have to become animals and they have to be killed. That is the law of nature. In human society, one if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. Okay. If a murder is committed, a capital punishment will be given, right, to hang the person. Similarly, in the universal kingdom also, there is a law that if you kill someone unnecessarily, you have to be hanged. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is the son of Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulge in animal killing for the taste of tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and he's making his future very dark. Of all the kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Mother provides us milk. Cow provides us milk. So cow is on the level of mother. So therefore, killing of cows is a very grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, it is said that one who is fully satisfied by milk is desirous of killing cow is in the grossest ignorance. There is also a prayer in Vedic literature which says Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Hita. So one who's thinking of the Hita, the the well-wisher of Go is cow and Brahmanas. That is Krishna. My dear Lord, you are the well-wisher of cows and Brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Vishnu Puran. The purport is that special mention is given in that prayer for protection of cows and Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education. Brahmanas provide both spiritual and material education, of which spiritual education is very important. And cows, they provide what? They provide milk, ghee, right? And that ghee is used where? To do yajnas. Cows and bulls are used on the farms to get what? Grains. Again, the grains are used in yajna only. Therefore, they are the symbol of most valued food, valuable food. Valuable food means not the cow flesh, but the milk. These two creatures, the Brahmana and the cow, must be given all protection. This is the real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is understood then that the human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animal in the next life is certainly not human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all the nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger. So, this animal killing, especially cow killing, now will bring a lot of karma, and that's what we are seeing. Generally, animal killing attracts more wars. Okay, a lot of wars are happening because people are accruing so much of karma through animal killing that ultimately they have to live like animals, fight with each other. Any
Uh,
question?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, actually, uh, how about killing insects? Like unknowingly, like we are in our day-to-day life, like we'll
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
killing,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like for example,
Yes,
mosquitoes
yes,
and
yes.
ants.
And yeah, I
So
was thinking about it because yesterday only I was killing some mosquitoes in my
yeah,
room. When I read that, no, I read that. So 5 years by take some. Yeah, let's talk about this 5 yagyas. Bhuta yagya, Manushya yagya, Pitru yagya, Brahma yagya, Deva yagya. So there are 5 types of rinis. Rinis mean depth. One is that we are depth of our forefathers, Pitru. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
because our forefathers gave birth to us. Hmm? If we get
Yeah.
education, we are very gratitude. Um, we are grateful to our school teachers, right? Similarly, those who give birth, we have to be grateful to them. These are Panch Mahayagyas. Okay, first one is to the forefathers, then to the Brahmanas. So here, let's take this. This picture is better. Yeah. So to the Brahmanas, we do Veda Yajna, meaning what we learn from the Vedas, we teach it to others. We follow in our lives and we teach it to others. For forefathers, we have to do Shraddha and Tarpan. For Brahman, yeah, this one. For Brahman Yajna, we have to see Brahmanas. We are ridden or we are in depth of the Brahmanas because they give us sanskar, they give us Shastra. So we learn that Shastra and we practice in our life and we teach it to others. That is how we get rid of that Yajna, Rin, depth. Okay. Then there is Manushya Yajna. Manushya Yajna means uh, when we step out from the house, we become a guest at any other place, either in our extended family's place or some friend's place. We are guest. So whenever guests come in our house, we have to serve them. Okay, so taking care of other people and taking care of guests is this Manushya. And then this is the question you asked. What about the Bhuta, meaning the animals? So we should feed the animals. Okay, we should feed the animals. This is how the rin to the animals are uh, rid of. And we should not kill them unnecessarily. Sometimes, while cleaning home or cleaning grains and all that, we have to remove all the insects and all. To protect ourselves, we have to spray, to protect ourselves from malaria and all that, we have to spray and all that. So, sometimes we have to do this. So, so point is that we should be doing this 5 kinds of yajna um, to get rid of the depth that we have for them. Um, when one becomes a devotee of Krishna, still he should continue doing
Mhm.
this. And when one becomes pure devotee of Krishna, Shuddha Bhakta of Krishna, then just by becoming devotee, all these 5 rin are removed. Okay? So becoming devotee of Krishna also helps. If we are not able to do, and there is actually one more, there is Devata Yajna. Yeah, Devatas. We are debted to the Devata also. Because the Devatas, they provide us everything. Indra Devata, they provide us rain, grain, Agni, fire, all that. So we are debted to them also. So we have to do certain Deva Puja for that. And if we don't know Deva Puja, then if we do Krishna Puja, if we chant the holy name of Krishna, we do Krishna worship, then Krishna is the root. And by the root, all the Devatas are satisfied. Just like if you water the root of the tree, all the branches, the trees, the fruits, everyone gets the water. Similarly, when we become devotees of Krishna, all the Devatas are satisfied. But we need to understand one thing, that it happens when we become Shuddha Bhakta of Krishna. Till that point, we should try to do all these five yajnas. Have you heard about these five yajnas?
Yeah, I'm aware of Pitru Yagya, but
Yeah, yeah.
okay, yeah. This,
So right now, we are doing Shastra Yajna. We are
okay,
learning
okay.
this Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, and we are going to distribute to others, Rishi.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah,
And then when we go out, if we see some beggar, then we should do Manushya Yajna by donating to them. And we should donate food also to the animals
charity.
also,
Okay.
like that. So yes, living in this world, we definitely create problems. There will be always some or the other sin. But by becoming devotee
So
of
that
Krishna
that
and
should be,
yeah,
yeah. So that should be like for protecting ourselves, right, Prabhu?
protecting ourselves means,
No. So we kill insects to protect ourselves.
yes,
Is
unnecessary.
that
We
the
should not
takeaway?
go and kill them,
Ha ha. Okay.
right?
Okay.
See, in the Vedic times, na, they used to burn neem leaves. Now the neem
Mm,
leaves won't you
yes.
they didn't used to kill the mosquitoes. What they used to do is they used to drive it away.
Correct.
But today's methodology is that they kill. In previous times,
Yes.
now there was no what are these monkey, this Mortin and
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, good night and all that. So previously, what was there when such things were not there? People used to
Free,
use net, mosquito net, right, to sleep.
free it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now mosquitoes won't die, but the person was sleeping peacefully.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
But today's, because today we are in so much of passion and ignorance, now we have developed these kinds of methodologies by which we are doing mass killing. Actually, that is
Mm,
unfortunate. So try to do it only in necessary conditions. Okay, if you okay, very very necessary conditions only, just try to do that. Otherwise, avoid it.
okay. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. One more thing I want to say about Pitru Yagya. There is Tarpan, there is Shraddha, and at various places like Gokarna, Gaya, and all that, we can go and do. Okay. Um, but as devotees, as Vaishnavas, what we do is we offer bhoga to Krishna, right?
Yes.
We cook without onion, garlic, vegetarian food, and we offer it to Krishna. Now that food is becomes prasad, and that prasad can be offered to the Pitrus. Okay, so this is the Vaishnava way of doing Shraddha. The smarta way of doing Shraddha is, using til and all that, rice and til ball and all that, right? So a Vaishnava will also do that, but additional to that, he would offer the prasad of Krishna to the forefathers.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is a slight difference between a Vaishnava and like that. Okay, let's go ahead. सत्व संजायते ज्ञानम राजसो लोभ एव च प्रमाद मोहो तमसो भवतो ज्ञानम एव च. From mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From mode of passion, greed develops. And from mode of ignorance develops foolishness, madness, illusion. In goodness, real knowledge is developed. What is right, what is wrong, this is what is discussed. Mode of passion, greed develops. Greed means intense desire to achieve something. Mode of ignorance develops foolishness. A person becomes fool only, mad, kind of madness is coming into his life. Like I take the example of Kumbhakarna. Whatever comes in front of him, he's eating that. Even though he knows that Ravana is doing wrong, but he still goes and fight for sake of Ravana. That is also madness, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So when one is affected by mode of ignorance, like he was mostly affected by mode of passion and ignorance. Too much of sleep and too much of non-vegetarian food, you know, destroyed his memory and intelligence. Since the present civilization is not very congenial to living entities, Krishna consciousness is recommended. See, it is today's world, right? It's very complicated. It is not the Vedic times now. So therefore, this simple Krishna consciousness is recommended, where one chants the holy name, follows four regulative principles, becomes devotee of Krishna, and then society is also moved to mode of goodness. Through Krishna consciousness, society will develop mode of goodness. Now you know that last year in January, I guess, there was opening of Ram temple, right, in Ayodhya.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now that one incident was spread all over the world, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
many
Prabhuji.
people became so much interested, and they were reading Ramayana, and they were chanting the name of Ram, and they were making crowds were coming on the road in their society. They were going around the society. You must have seen that, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
So a Krishna conscious event can bring the society in mode of goodness. Let's take the example of Kumbh Mela itself. How many people came in Kumbh Mela?
65 crores, Prabhuji.
65 crores. Apart from accidents, was there fighting?
Nothing. No, Prabhuji.
Hmm? Nothing, right?
Nothing, Prabhuji. Only one incident. That's it.
In football also a lot of people come.
Yes, yes.
But you know what they do?
They will fight, Prabhuji.
They will burn the stadium.
Yeah. And they will kill the people.
Yeah. And this is nothing 64 crore. This is only like, let's say,
Few thousand,
70,000,
Prabhuji.
80,000 people. That's it. Or even less than that.
Yeah.
But there is a great hooliganism. So it depends on the purpose. If the purpose is spiritual, right, then the mode of goodness prevails. But if the purpose is passion, then mode of passion will prevail. Misery, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So we can see such incidents like Kumbh Mela, Ram Janmabhoomi, and all that. They created so much of mode of goodness. No person who would ever go to temple and was serious, in religion suddenly became serious because of Ram Janmabhoomi and Kumbh Mela, right? Suddenly everybody started saying, "I have to go, I have to go, I have to go," right?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, and we were thinking, "Are for so many years this guy didn't even go to temple." Today he's saying, "I want to go to Kumbh Mela," right? So events can bring mode of goodness in the society. In mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see killing one animal. They are taking chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life. In the animal sacrifice, right? They have to chant a mantra in the goat's ear, and the mantra is, what is the mantra? That in this life I kill you, in next life you kill me, and then to goddess Kali that offering of killing is done. Can you imagine? That's the mantra. So unless one comes to understanding what he is saying and what the mantra means, he won't advance. Because people have no education and actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness in people in general must be there. So mode of goodness is very, very important. When they're actually educated in mode of goodness, they'll become sober, full of knowledge as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous. See, people can be happy and prosperous also. See, Ayodhya, um, when Ram left Ayodhya and he came back, do you know how much Ayodhya grew in economic and prosperous condition? Do you know? Can you
No
throw a
problem.
number every year by certain percentage? Can you throw a certain percentage number?
Heavy problem. No idea.
So Bharat said to Ram when he came back. Now Bharat said to Ram, everything has increased 10 times.
Mm.
That means that the economy of Ayodhya grew at a pace of 18% every year. 18% growth every year for next 14 years. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Bharat, he was such a devotee of of Ram, and he could bring that happiness and prosperous. Now let's take example of Ravana. He had gold palaces, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
His growth rate was, let's say, 80%, 100% per year,
Mm.
right? But was there happiness and prosperousness in their kingdom? It was temporarily there. Once monkeys came, especially Hanuman came, he burned the whole thing, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And Hanuman went to Ayodhya also. Nothing happened in Ayodhya, but everything, the whole Lanka got burnt. So point is that you can get permanent prosperousness and happiness if we do things in mode of goodness. If we try to put mode of passion and achieve happiness and prosperous, it will be miserable only. See, even if a majority of people aren't happy and prosperous, if a certain percentage of population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in mode of goodness, then there is a possibility of peace and prosperity all over the world. See, even a small percentage is enough. Otherwise, the world is devoted to mode of passion and ignorance. There can be no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy. See, in mode of goodness, people don't become greedy. There's a saying, na, you can satisfy everyone's need in this world, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But not a single person's greed.
Yeah.
Greed is excess. It is never ending. You cannot satisfy that. And the hankering for sense enjoyment has no limit. One has to see that even if one has enough money, adequate arrangements of sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That is not possible because when one is situated in mode of passion, if he wants happiness, all his money will not help him. He has to elevate himself in mode of goodness by practicing Krishna consciousness. When one is engaged in mode of passion, not only he is mentally unhappy, but his professional occupation also very troublesome. Bharat Maharaj was also king, Ravana was also king, but Ravana was mentally unhappy. His profession and all that killed so many people. He lost his brothers, he lost their children, then he lost his own children, then he lost his best of the best uh, fighters, so many of them. He has to defy so many plans and schemes to acquire enough money to maintain his status quo. This is all miserable. In the mode of ignorance, people become mad. Being distressed by their circumstances, they take to shelter of intoxication and they sink further in ignorance. The future of life is very dark. What is the biggest trade of Afghanistan? Do you know? Opium, heroin.
Opium.
So can people live happily over there?
No, Prabhu.
That's what it is. That's what is happening, That's what is happening. They are giving, see, they are increasing in the production of opium in Afghanistan. See, because when uh, the American government went and they captured Afghanistan, right? They didn't establish, or they failed to establish a very just kingdom, right? So even after that, the opium trade was growing, growing, growing. It never reduced only. You see, and now the whole country is in shambles. Okay. ऊर्ध्व गच्छन्ति सत्वस्थ मध्य तिष्ठन्ति राजसः जगन्य गुण वृष्टि वृत्तिस्थ अधो गच्छन्ति तामसः. Those situated in mode of goodness gradually go upwards to the higher planets. Those in mode of passion live on the earthly planets. Those in abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. In this verse, the result of actions in three modes are more explicitly set forth. There is upper planetary system consisting of heavenly planets where everyone is highly elevated. According to degree of development of mode of goodness, the living entity can be transferred to various planets. In the highest planet is Satyaloka Brahmaloka, where the prime person Brahma resides. We have already seen that we can hardly calculate the wondrous condition of life in Brahmaloka, but the highest condition of life, the mode of goodness, can bring us to this. The mode of passion is mixed. It is in the middle and between the mode of goodness and ignorance. A person is not always pure, but even if he should be purely in the mode of passion, he simply remains on this earth as a king or a rich man. But because there are mixtures, one can go down. People on this earth in the mode of passion or ignorance cannot forcibly approach the higher planet system by the machine. In modes of passion, there is always a chance of becoming mad in next life. The lowest quality, the mode of ignorance, is abominable. The result is developing ignorance is very, very risky. It is the lowest quality of material nature. Beneath the human level, there are 8 million species of life. 8 million species of life. The human level is itself is 4 million species. Actually, not 4 million, 400,000. 4 lakh species. And there are 8 million species of life which are in birds, beasts, reptiles, trees. And according to development of the mode of ignorance, people are brought down to these abominable conditions. The word tamasa is very significant here. Tamasa indicates that those who continuously stay in the mode of ignorance without rising to higher mode, their future is very dark. Can you imagine somebody taking birth as a tree, then a reptile, then a beast, then birds? It's going to take so long, right? There is an opportunity for men in mode of ignorance and passion to be elevated to mode of goodness. But still, there is an opportunity. What is that opportunity? Krishna consciousness. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue in lower modes. Now, those who are already in this mode, these bodies, how can a devotee help? We discussed this maybe two or maybe last time we discussed this. How can a devotee help with souls caught up in these modes, in
No,
these bodies?
bring them in service of God.
Yes,
Or
bring them in service of Krishna. Yes,
yes,
give them prasadam.
yes, Prabhu.
Second, third thing is you can chant the holy name to them. You can chant Krishna's name to them. See, the thing is now, chanting of the holy name affects the chanter and the hearer, both. One who sings it and one who listens it. And one who listens it, even though they may not be in human body, they may be in birds, beast, they will get benefited. Such is the power of chanting the holy name of Krishna. Okay. नान्यम गुणेभ्य कर्तारम यदि यदा दृष्टानु पश्यन्ति पश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परम वेति मद भावम सो अधिगच्छति. When one properly sees, then in all activities, no other work performance at work other than these three modes, and he knows that Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. See, this is the same shloka in Karma Yoga where one sees that he is not the doer. Okay, he is not the doer. The modes are the doer. Actual work is taken care by the modes. I am just the desirer. When he gets that understanding, I'm part of the doer. Okay, such a person, then he slowly becomes spiritual and attains spiritual nature. One can transcend all activities of modes of material nature simply by understanding them properly, by learning from proper souls. The real spiritual master is Krishna, and is imparting this spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. Similarly, it is from those who are fully in Krishna consciousness, one can learn this science of activities in terms of modes of nature. Otherwise, one's life will be misdirected. By instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, a living entity can know his spiritual position. Again, the same point. How do we advance in spiritual life? By understanding, or under the guidance of a spiritual master, under the guidance of a guru. See, whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken because Arjuna said to Krishna, you become my guru, I become your disciple. Shishyasteham sadi mam tam prapannam. Shishya, I become your student. Now you teach me. Similarly, if we want to come out of this world, then we have to approach a guru, and he will tell us how to do it. He is helpless, being in the grip of three modes, but when he can see his real position, then he can attain to transcend the platform, having the scope for spiritual life. Actually, the living entity is not the performer of different activity. He is forced to act because he is situated in that particular type of body, conducted by some particular mode of material nature. Unless one has the help of spiritual authority, he cannot understand in what position he is actually situated. With the association of bona fide spiritual master, he can see his real position, and by such an understanding, he can become fixed in full Krishna consciousness. A man in Krishna consciousness is not controlled by the spell of material modes of nature. It has already been stated in 7th chapter. And one who has surrendered to Krishna is relieved from all activities of material nature. For one who is able to see things as they are, the influence of material nature gradually ceases. So for a devotee, the influence of these three modes, they decrease, 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 decrease. Okay? गुणान एतान आतिथ्य तृण देहि देह समुद्भवान जन्म मृत्यु जरा दुखेर विमुक्त अमृतम अश्नुते. See, janma mrityu jara. Janma means birth, mrityu means death, jara. Jara is what? Old age.
Old age.
Dukkha is distress, that is diseases. These are four root causes of suffering. If we have simple cough or simple cold, it is so miserable, right? It is so miserable. Even if you go to doctor, the doctor will say, unless you get fever, I cannot give you any medicine, isn't it? So then we are suffering for 2 days, 3 days, just trying to come over this cough and cold. But it is very painful also. Birth is painful, death is even more painful. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distress, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So, if one is able to transcend these three modes, and situate himself in pure sattva, then birth, death, old age, and disease cannot touch him. How one can stay in transcendental position even in this body is in full Krishna consciousness explained in this verse. The Sanskrit word dehi means embodied. Although one is within this material world, by his advancement in spiritual knowledge, he can be free from intelligence of influence of the modes of nature. He can enjoy the happiness of spiritual life even in this body, because after leaving this body, he is suddenly going to spiritual sky. But even in this body, he can enjoy spiritual happiness. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is a sign of liberation from material entanglement, and this will be explained in the 18th chapter. When one is freed from the influence of modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service. So pure devotional service starts once the three modes are fully gone and one is situated in pure goodness. Till that point, we are doing sadhana bhakti. Any questions? Arjuna Vacha. Now Arjuna is becoming very interested. He wants to know, okay, he transcends. Then how does he speak? How does he walk? How does he live? Can you tell such a person who has transcended three modes? Arjuna Vacha. Kairlinge strin gunan etan अतितो भवति प्रभो किम आचार कथम सैताम त्रीन गुणान अतिवर्तते. Arjuna inquired, "Oh my dear Lord, by what which sentence he is known to be transcended these three modes? How do I know a person is free from these three modes? What is his behavior? How does he transcend the three modes? How he does? What are his symptoms? How he behaves? Right? Three questions. In this verse, Arjuna's questions are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptom of a person who has transcended, who has already transcended the material modes. The first inquires, the first he inquires of the symptom of such transcendental person. One, how one can understand that he's already transcended the influence of the modes of material nature. The second asks how he lives and what his activities are. Are they regulated or non-regulated? Then Arjuna inquires what of the means by which he can attain the transcendental nature. This is very important. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can be situated always transcendently, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. So all these questions put by Arjuna are very, very important, and the Lord answers them. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Maharaj. Prakasham cha pravittim cha moham eva pandava na dveshiti samprabhavattani न निवर्तानि कंक्षति उदासीनवद आसीन गुणैर यो न विचालयते गुणवर्तन्त इति एवं यो वशिष्ठति नेनगते समुदुःख सुख स्वस्थ सोमलोतास्म कांचन तुल्य प्रिया प्रियो धीरस तुल्य निंदात्म संस्तुति मानापमान तुल्य तुल्य मित्रारि पक्षयोर सर्वारंभ परित्यागी गुणानेतांस गुणतित स उच्यते. Very long. How many? Two,
Four.
three,
Four.
three verses. So we'll read this, then we'll stop. The Supreme Person of Godhead said, "O son of Pandu, one who does not hate illumination, attachment, or delusion when they are present, or long for them when they disappear." See, he is neither attached nor he is delusion. Okay, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, doesn't come. I'm still happy. Who's unwavering, undisturbed through all these reactions of material qualities. Okay, remaining neutral, samatva, and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, knowing that the modes are driving. He is not driving everything. The modes are driving. Who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress alike. He sees happiness also same as distress. He is neither carried away in happiness, neither carried away in distress. Who looks a lump of earth. Now, this is a very interesting one. Lump of earth, stone, piece of gold with an equal eye. If a gold piece is on the road, are you going to leave it on the road? No, right?
It's a tough.
So what does
Yeah,
this
I
mean?
will.
What does this mean? This means that you will touch only your property, not somebody else's property. And you will give back that property which belongs to other person.
Right.
Yeah. There is a nice verse. Ishyavasam idam sarvam yat kinchit. Let's see. This is Bhagavad Gita. Go to library. Ishopanishad. This particular verse. ईशावासम इदम सर्वम यत किंचित जगत्यम जगत तेन त्वक्तेन भुंजित मा गृधः कस्य वस्वित धनम. Everything animate, inanimate that is within the world is controlled by and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only things necessary for himself, which are set aside by his quota, and one should not accept other things knowing well to whom they belong. Only accept things which are your quota, and one should not accept things which do not belong to us. He is equal toward the desirable, undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame. When one is praised, one feels happy. When one is blamed, especially wrongly blamed, then it is very disturbing, right? But he is equally situated equally. Honor, dishonor. Again, similar thing only. Praise, blame. Who treats alike both friend and enemy. Uh, who would treat friend and enemy is the same way? Not possible, right? Who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes. Okay, stop here. Any comments or questions? Any comments or questions?
Prabhuji, not able, not able to follow the, I don't know how to say it. Like we are reading it too much. Too much means we are very nice when we are reading at that time, but afterwards we are forgetting. I am
Okay.
forgetting, unfortunately. I mean,
Yeah, it will
this.
happen till we reach this
Yeah,
state. Okay. And we have to continue practicing.
yeah, Prabhuji.
We have to continue. See, we have to start from where we are.
Yeah,
Like, babies, they also see children uh, running and talking and walking, right? So they also develop the desire that I also want to run, I also want to walk, and all that. And they will
mm,
attempt also. But it may not work out, right? They have to give practice and time to it. The body should increase and become strong and all that, right?
yes, yes,
Desire
yes,
is there.
yes, yes,
So point is we should continue our practice, and by Krishna's grace, such things will come. If not in
mm,
this life, then next life.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, Prabhuji. Krishna Prabhuji, yeah.
Yeah, Krishna will. Any other question, comment?
Okay.
Okay. So no questions. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.